Raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live from Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, July 30th. Good morning, Andrew.
What's up, Beef?
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Yes, I stole Andrew from Spears and Ali for the first couple hours of the day, which is good. Welcome to the show, my friend. All right, we got a lot to get to, which tons of friends stopping by the show today. Tickets giveaway for Falling in Reverse at 8:10 this morning. Your opportunity to fly yourself to Alaska Cruise, which actually, reading stories this morning, you might want to opt out and just take the $3,000 cash instead. There was a massive earthquake, 8.8 off of the coast of Russia yesterday, or late last night, if you will. And it was so big, caused a ripple effect throughout the oceans where, there were tsunami effects, tsunami warnings in effect in Russia, Hawaii, all the way down to Brazil, all along the area. Now, the good news is no significant tsunamis have hit. And again, the 8.8 earthquake wasn't like central land, so it didn't seem like there was that much devastation, if you will.
It's like 12 miles under the sea, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I'm like 8.8. We're getting up there. Once you get into it's almost like a Barstool Pizza review.
Yeah.
You never see a 9, but
One
when
bite,
you see a
everybody
9,
knows the rules.
yeah, you see a 9, you're in trouble. Be like, oh man.
Yeah.
And so they were showing that, and even showed the kind of bay, the tide kind of pull out a little bit, and there's a lot of things that are trending on the internet. One of them is Oprah. Because, allegedly Oprah, she owns a private road on Maui. No, she didn't start the earthquake. She owns a private road on Maui. And
you get a tsunami, and you get a tsunami.
Exactly. No, but you know what's an issue there in what I saw in time-lapse videos in Maui, they're like, the sirens are going off, right? Warning everybody to get to higher ground. And then everyone gets in their car to try to take off to get to higher ground. And then they're stuck in gridlock traffic for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's not good, right? Because you're just like, now you can't go anywhere. You're hearing the sirens and your seat is amping up. And you're just like, F, dude, no one's getting out of the way. It's a parking lot. So allegedly there was a road that could have, if it was open, would have cut across and got the higher ground and would have, alleviated some traffic. But it was a private road, and it's owned by the Oprah. And, it's a very scenic route. It's probably a road that was used in one of the Jurassic films. And so now she's trending and everything else. But like I said, the good news is, no, it doesn't look like there's anyone seriously hurt or damaged. But I also saw a cruise ship who had to be evacuated from the cruise ship, right? So they were.
So where?
Well, that's the thing. They're on the cruise ship. The earthquake hits, and then the cruise ship's like, all right, everybody get off the ship and head to higher ground. Mm-hmm. So just start running that way. And of course, it took them a few hours for everything to kind of subside for them to even start coming back to the ship. So as we're giving away a 10-day cruise, that $3,000 does look pretty good.
Nah, you'll be fine.
All right, that's fine. There's buffets
Just
and
bring
blackjack.
your running shoes. It's fine.
And an extra floaty or two.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Man.
That's fair.
Bring the unicorn one. You'll be fine.
I'll say that on the ocean, in case of like a flooding or tsunami and stuff, being on a big ship on the ocean, it seems like it's probably one of the safest places.
Yeah, I would think so.
You can't flood the ocean. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure you can't flood the ocean.
Yeah.
All right. There's other big news happening in the world today. Fans gather in Birmingham, England to mourn and pay their respects to the loss of an icon. Of course, Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away last week. You'll see on the podcast broadcast stream, they're live streaming the funeral procession. So right now, just people lined up through the streets of Birmingham, England, which kind of looks like downtown Tucson, to be honest with you. And
a little bit, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's kind of a trip.
Like looks like Congress.
Yeah, Congress and Tool. And so, lots of flowers all lined up and, just a small road and people are all lining the blocks just to kind of pay their respects. I'm sure blast some Ozzy and Sabbath along the route as well. But that live stream is happening all morning long. And it's a beautiful sight to see, at the end of a legacy.
That's a lot of flowers. I was expecting a lot more beer.
Right. It's buried within the flowers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to work on that beer supply, dude.
Right.
I'd be like, what the hell are all these flowers?
Yeah.
Bubbles. I'm a prince of darkness, Sharon.
So, would you pay your respect if you went to Birmingham, England, and if Ozzy's grave was there? Would you pour some out on the grave for Ozzy? Is that the way to show respect?
I mean, I guess, yeah, as long as I'm not going to get arrested for it, I guess. But something tells me they've planned for that.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to make sure. Well, there's two ways to do it. I mean, Ozzy was notorious for an incident that happened at the Alamo.
Yes.
Right. So would it be paying respect or disrespectful to go to the grave of Ozzy and then urinate on said grave while being drunk? Or is that the ultimate homage?
I think we're somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want to urinate on Ozzy's grave. That just feels wrong.
You feel like
At the
it's
same
disrespectful,
time,
right?
Being there slosh drunk. I don't know. I think we're towing the line there.
It is. It's a weird thing. In any other scenario, in every other situation, it is completely disrespectful. It's Calvin peeing on a Chevy.
Yeah.
Right. But in this scenario, it's somewhat, paying homage and showing respect.
Yeah.
Very odd. Speaking of rock icons that passed away, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that an Iron Maiden legend passed away. Today. It's 69 years old. What do you know about him?
About the original singer of Maiden?
Yeah, well, Paul Mario Day.
Got the shirt on today, man.
Okay, just so under respect, did you get like a Google alert or something?
I'm maybe. Yeah, man. But I mean, a lot of fans are like, it was his band first ever since they've been a cover band. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah. All right.
Wouldn't have Maiden without him.
Yeah. 69 years old. That's nice. a decent run there. And,
very nice.
All right, we're going to get on here. That was from earlier this morning. I got about 7 seconds. I'll introduce you to my guests, and we're going to have a good show today. Let's see. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Hanging out here on the podcast broadcast live on youtube.com/beefvegan. And of course on our Instagram page and everything. Of course, Kim's hanging out with us here this next hour. And in studio, very special guest. I'm a big fan of people who are out there, doing the work to, be creative, chase their dreams. Jennifer Thomas is a local comedian here. She hosts a local open mic here at The Rock each and every Wednesday night. And that starts at 7:30 tonight. Sign-ups are 6:30.
Sign up 7.
Oh, sign up at 7. Okay. How long you been hosting, the open mic at The Rock?
Almost a year now. I started last November. Okay, it's a little lie. I started last November, but we're getting there, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. How many comedians are you averaging to come out to The Rock to do some stand-up?
A little lie. Let's say 15.
Okay. Yeah. No, 15 is good. Yeah. And honestly, I want to encourage anyone out there to, that it thought to themselves like, hey, I've always wanted to be a comedian. The difference between wanting to be a comedian and being a comedian, is doing it, getting in front of the stage, facing your fear and just working it out and not be afraid to fail. I think every comedian on every level, from the very beginners to expert level, Dave Chappelle type stuff, have all failed and flopped or bombed, if you will. Present company included. I've definitely gone out there and bombed hardcore.
What?
Yeah, first, I attempted to do stand up. My first 8 times. Was opening up for Adam Carolla at the Tempe Improv.
Are you kidding?
8 sold out shows. No. Yeah. And I wasn't supposed to do it. They asked me to host, which I thought in my mind, if you're going to host a stand-up show, you got to do some stand-up. And then word got out that I was planning on doing some stand-up. They specifically told me not to do stand-up. But in my mind, I was like, I already decided I'm going to do this. So I told them I won't do it, I promise. And then I went up there and I did it. And I bombed 4 of the times. And I did okay the other 4 times. And I'll tell you what, at my lowest low, I walk off the stage and I was still like, that was pretty cool. So again, that's what these open mics are all about, is going up there, facing your fear, and also working your material and connecting with the audience. So we're going to get to know Jennifer and talk about a lot of stuff here on the podcast broadcast. So you could join us coming up right after Chevelle Rabbit Holes, which is new music. How long should you cyberstalk someone before going on a first date? Yeah. I feel like I got some experts here, you know. So we're gonna break that down right after this. But you can join us youtube.com/BeFegan. It's a podcast broadcast. Oh man, my throat got I got fluid in my throat. So how long you been a stand-up comedian?
Like a year and a half now.
Just a year and a half. So you go 6
So-
months into starting to be a stand-up comedian, and you're like, I'm gonna host this open mic. So then I
Yes.
get some more mic time.
Yes,
I like it.
because when I started, I just kind of hit the ground running. I went to every open mic every single night for 6-7 months, and then
All here in Tucson.
Yes. All
Yeah.
in
What brought
Tucson.
you to Tucson?
My ex-husband. So cyberstalking, we're ready to talk about.
Yeah, you wish you would have cyberstalked a little better before. Yeah.
Before 10 years of marriage.
Yeah. Well, 10 years is a good run, you know. I mean, it's not bad.
You look so remarkably good for having been married for 10 years because marriage ages you. like,
Yes.
unhealthily.
Oh my God.
Sure, I was married. I'm only 25 years old.
I'm 16.
Nah, yeah. I know you're not because they wouldn't allow you in studio. That's for sure. There's this whole law thing. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Not within 50 feet of you?
Yeah.
Shot without a guardian.
Yeah, it's not often I do pedophile jokes, which I don't do any pedophile jokes. Okay, so
Well, I didn't notice a school around. So
yeah. They keep radio stations
Yeah.
away from schools for sure. But yeah, but I mean, 10 years. So I take it the divorce is rough, huh? Or when he moved you out to Tucson, were you like, you know what, this is not going to work out, but then you end up staying?
Well, we were long distance for 2 years. I moved here. We had 8 years, and then
Is he military like Davis Mothin? Is that the reason why, or he's just from Tucson?
he's from here. Yeah,
Oh,
he's from here, and he's been to like every KFMA day, every fall ball, which ended when I moved here.
Ah,
Unfortunately,
it's your fault.
Oh, boy.
Honestly,
There you go. If you guys are asking why, Jennifer Thomas.
I'll take the blame. If you're saying my name, like I'm happy.
Yeah, it's Brandy. I'll post it later today.
Wait, Jennifer, how did you decide that you were going to be a stand-up comedian? That's like an intense, life-changing decision. And
Was it the divorce trauma where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to roast him so much, but I want the largest audience possible?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Partially.
Okay.
I actually did comedy as a teenager, mostly improv I started when I was 15, stopped when I was 19. And I
Yeah.
always had the itch and the yearning inside. And then the split really was like, oh, I don't have anything to tie me down. I can make friends. Like, obviously that's the path. That's
Yeah.
what I need. And
And it's a scene, in any place. I mean, some places are, bigger scenes than others, but the comedy culture and the cliques that you kind of get into as everyone's kind of helping each other out. It's beautiful. It's the same thing as like getting into the music scene and you get in those bubbles. Very supportive, also very, competitive and not supportive depending on who you're interacting with, but a great way to say, how am I going to reinvent myself and develop a social life? And get into something that I've been passionate about and probably terrifies the hell out of you. Was your first attempts to stand up when you started back into it? Was it literally just talk shit about your husband for 5 minutes at a time and then started after that starting to work on other material?
actually, no. Before I started, I wrote for 3 months.
Okay.
I'm like super anxious. So
Yeah.
I wrote for 3 months until I built a 5-minute set that I was happy with. And I went up and I actually did really well my first time. And
How'd you do your second time?
Drinking. So who knows? But I kind of just took off. Obviously I have bombed so hard. I have cried and just downed Bud Light.
Yeah.
wait, were you writing and practicing? And then, so when you get up
Mhm.
there, like, you're just like able to recite it almost like a monologue, like in a play, like
Yeah.
how, is that how it looked for
You have to. Rock
Absolutely.
102.1 KFMA. Kim just asked Jennifer how long she recited her, 5 minutes of material before taking the stage the first time. So you were in the mirror, just repeating those jokes over and over again?
Yep, in the mirror. And the whole thing about learning your jokes is you should be able to tell your jokes without thinking, like you're singing a song you've known your whole life, and your brain can keep going
Yeah.
behind
Right.
what you're saying.
Like you're ad-libbing, but you're not. You make it feel like you're just spontaneously just spewing off the top of your head, but it's all just like memorized.
Absolutely.
How long did it take you to not do like when you do the punchline, because you're looking in the mirror, do like some kind of like physical reaction, like, huh? All right. And then that, did you have to go through any of those like learning curves or no?
I just had to get over the fear of being hated. I had to get over just
for
the
sure.
fear of like how do I look? Are people gonna judge me based on how I look? Are my jokes too much?
That's just being a woman.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
tell me
Hey, it's
about
being a
it.
man too, or a man as well, like I say, I get in front of people all the time, and sometimes, I'll get in front of people, and before I get up to make announcements or on stage in front of people, I'll run into someone I know, and they'll be like, "Oh, you look tired," and so they'll give me an added level of insecurity that I'll be self-conscious about, and then I'll go on stage thinking they're just looking at my baggy eyes this entire time, you know. So, yeah, but sometimes it adds to the comedy. In fact, there's some comedians that continue to kind of like build their career based off their initial shock value of what their appearance looks like.
Mhm.
Whether we have a comedian that's coming to Rialto soon, Steph, what's her last name? She has a mullet and she comes off as super tomboyish, like hypersexual in an aggressive male way as a woman. She's
Nice.
hilarious.
Is she Florida man?
She looks like a Florida man,
Okay.
but
Ooh.
it is a very conscious decision to lean into probably what her insecurities were growing up and say, I'm going to make this me. And now, it takes that look and then it makes it appealing. Now she's vibing and she's selling out shows. And that show, like I said, was just announced at Rialto Theater. So even coming through doing a place like Rialto, that's a big room for a comedian.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get into more about the open mic tonight at the Rock, but let me ask you this, because you went through a divorce, Kim, you've been single. So, modern is like dating. It's like dating apps, meeting people through social media and then getting ready to go on a date. But how long and what do you do to cyberstalk before you go on that first date? I have experts that tell me what the right amount of cyberstalking is, but I want to know what your amount of cyberstalking is before, getting into what the experts say. So what's usually the go-to? You match somebody on a dating site, right? You start talking to them and you plan on making a date. Then what's your next move? How do you get to know this person without them knowing you're getting to know this person, Jennifer?
So a little background, I used to work for student loan debt collection, and so much of it is 100% cyber stalking. So I would consider myself a master at it.
A
truthfully.
professional sleuth, if you
Yes.
will. Yes, absolutely.
I'm opening my notes app. Okay, let's go. Let me
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
what you got.
I mean, obviously first thing, social media.
Yeah.
And if you use certain browsers, you can get past the wall and you don't have to log in.
Oh,
So you can
okay.
get past, you can see a little
What kind
bit.
of browsers? I'm asking for a friend.
Incognito is the best one.
Okay.
For sure. Just to
Okay.
look on that incognito mode. And then next, honestly, parents.
Okay. Oh, you check out their parents. Oh, that is next level cyber stalking before the date, but that is smart. What do you find out when you come across their parents' profile?
Well, if his dad is commenting on young TikTok girls dancing, he was raised
By a creep.
Oh, yeah.
watching TikTok girls dance.
Damn it, my
Yeah.
dad is blowing up my spot, man, because I'll see, like, he doesn't do it anymore, but I would see notifications on my Instagram of, like, because we're friends on Instagram, I would just see that he's commenting on a profile. I'm like, oh, what's this? And it's an obviously fake, like, Instagram model, and he's like, yeah, baby, the things I do to you. I'm like, no, Dad, no. So, yeah, that's why I'm damaged goods. Continue. I'm
Yeah.
learning right now. That's good.
We don't need to stock beef.
No,
Right,
no.
just putting it all
I
out
mean,
here.
yeah. I'm surprised I didn't come to work wearing the red flag that I am, but this is good to know. So this is what people want to look at. So you initially incognito to try to check out their social media, then check out their parents' social media because the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Any other tidbits that you do cyber stalking before you go on this first date?
I think a good simple one is ignoring their profile and you look at their tagged photos.
Ooh.
Yep.
Because then you see the real, like, I
Yeah.
Photoshop my pictures. I don't give a
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. And that's something I've done for a while. Always go to the
Mhm.
tag photos, see what they really look like there. And if they don't have any tag photos, then they might not have any friends. And that's a red flag as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, huge red flag.
Right. Yeah. What have you done to cyber stalk before a date? Or you just blindly go into dates with these creeps?
Sometimes sometimes I go in blind. So
Ah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like sometimes I will just I'll figure this out as we go, and then maybe I'll stalk them afterwards. It kind of depends.
Okay.
But I think too, like you were saying, like not just the comments and the photos that they're tagged in, but yeah, there's so much that you can do on social media to like
Mhm.
figure out who these people really are. Do they have friends? Or
Mhm.
who are they following?
Right.
Yeah, and who's following them? Is it a bunch of
Yeah, the following list too, for
accounts?
sure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you
Yes.
click on someone's following, like a guy's following, and they're only following bikini
Yep.
models and
Yep.
OnlyFans girls,
Yep.
Mhm.
100%.
you found yourself a creep. You know?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, I think that I don't know, our generation maybe doesn't look at Facebook as much, but there's a lot that you can find out
So
on
much.
Facebook.
Mhm.
And especially their family, like their parents are definitely going to be on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And you can figure out
And they're
so
linked
much.
through in the About tab. So, what's some of the stuff that you find on Facebook that is part of your cyberstalking? So I feel like experts would say that you have an excessive amount of cyberstalking for a first date, which is not the right amount. They're like, you're way past the right amount. But at the
Mhm.
same time, what about credit score? Because since you had like a credit thing,
Oh.
do you look at credit scores or no?
I can't anymore, but I used to have access to basically anyone's entire history, like every single person they've ever known, anyone who's ever been on their utility bills, every credit card, every single thing. I wish I still had access.
I know. So when you
Yeah.
would do this, did you ever put yourself in a situation where you're like, oh, I have to ghost this guy or block them immediately? They failed every single test I gave them, unbeknownst to them.
Totally. Someone's profile was just I travel for a living. Dude was an Uber driver.
So he wasn't lying.
Yeah, he
Right.
travels every day.
Right. And but there's a part that's like, I respect it.
Yeah.
He's funny and maybe a little crazy. Obviously, the lengths that I go to are a red flag on me.
Yeah.
Orange, maybe.
Okay.
Orange
Okay.
flag.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
So like another orange
Totally.
flag, and
Yeah.
we would, yeah. I think another orange flag could match.
I just watched a documentary about a guy who was conning like all these women at the same time, and literally, if just one of them had Googled him and would have seen that he had convictions,
Yes.
it was that simple.
Yeah.
They just needed to Google him.
But that's why he was going after the ones that looked like they weren't like,
Yeah.
technically savvy,
Yeah, for sure.
internet savvy. All right. Well, here's what the right amount of cyber stalking is before a first date, according to experts. And this was a piece from the Huffington Post. The internet, of course, gives us the gift to be able to research, as we said, but according to experts, less is more. And that's the way to go. So learning just enough to feel safe on your date without going down the rabbit hole into your date's past. So sometimes maybe that's what's gotten in the way of getting to know somebody, especially you're on a first date and you're like, so how are your kids? Little Gary, you you start naming them off. But verifying who they are, and who they say they are, by looking at their LinkedIn and Instagram is smart, but combining their social media, and then doing a paid background check is overkill. So, pick one or two platforms. Just make sure they are who they say they are, which especially today with, AI, and it's so easy to create a fake persona that make it look like a real persona, even when it comes to video chats. It's good to check it out to make sure you're talking to the right person. And once you know that at least it's the right person, then you get to know them on a date. And of course, maybe just Google to make sure there's not any outstanding like murder trials like coming up for this person. All right, so that's the right amount of cyber stalking to do before a first date. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Be back right after music from Sublime and Default. So you can keep it right here on Rock 102.1 or join us, youtube.com/BeFegan. Clear. Excellent. Yeah, that's a good amount of cyber stalking information. All right, we're going to be playing a couple things here. As I get ready for that, I want to share this morning's last word. We had a good last word here. And we had Dan versus Julia, sore loser rules applied. And it was a fun one in case you missed it. Went a little something like this. Check it out. 1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I got two callers trying to win tickets for Falling in Reverse. And Kim, I want to play a game.
Let's go.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. Line one, I have Dan. What's going on, Dan?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. All right, line two, we have Julia. Hello, Julia.
Hello, hello.
All right, so what we are playing here is the last word. Okay, it's a verbal hot potato game. Very simple. Think Family Feud. I'm going to give a category. Each caller is going to give answers back without repeating one another, trying to get the last acceptable answer in before a 30-second clock runs out. Best 2 out of 3 will be dubbed our winner, but sore loser rules will be applied, meaning Whoever loses the game decides the winner's fate, whether the winner will walk away with those tickets to see Falling in Reverse on September 24th, or I hang up on both callers and give them out to caller number 69, essentially giving both callers a second opportunity to win, or anybody out there listening an opportunity to swoop in and steal those tickets. With the rules set, are you both ready for the game?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. 30 seconds on the clock will begin with line 1, Dan. We'll finish. The clock will start when I finish asking this question. Are you ready, Dan?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Name something people associate with vampires. Go.
Coffin.
Okay, Julia.
Blood.
What is that?
Blood.
Oh, blood. Okay, Dan.
Blood.
Garlic.
Okay, Julia.
Teeth.
Yes, Dan.
Bat.
Okay, Julia.
Twilight.
Okay, Dan.
Jake.
Okay, Julia. Cape. Ooh. Dan got it. Yeah, that cape. Cape was the answer.
Oh,
that
and we hit 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was the 30 seconds up. All right, so Dan, you got round 1. Congratulations on getting down round 1. Julia, you are going to start off round 2. 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this question. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Julia, name something people do to stay awake while driving. Go.
Chew gum.
Chew gum.
Okay, Dan.
Drink coffee.
Okay, coffee. Yes, Julia.
Listen to Rock 102.1.
That's right, Dan.
Roll down the window.
Okay, Julia.
Talk to someone on the phone.
Okay, Dan. Dan didn't want to say cocaine, so we're going to have to give that round to Julia. I get it. I understand.
We know what you were thinking.
You're on
Dan.
public radio and stuff. Yeah. So, all right, we're all tied up 1-1. All right. It's all about this tiebreaker round to see who's going to be our winner and let our loser decide the fate of the winner. How you both feeling so far?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's been a fair game. We've been playing a very friendly game as well. All right, Dan, you're going to start off round 3. 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this question. Name something you only buy once but use for years. Go.
Car.
Yeah, car. Julia.
A phone.
Yes, phone. Dan.
TV.
TV. Yes, Julia.
House.
A house. Yes, Dan.
Pool.
Pool. Yes, Julia.
Wi-Fi router.
Okay. Yes, Dan.
I got nothing.
Oh, Dan,
I
you
was
got
waiting-
stumped.
I was waiting for Dan to say underwear.
I was gonna say, yeah, underwear is good. I was gonna say plunger. A plunger is something that you buy once, right?
So Julia got that round.
Should have gone with the plunger.
You should have gone with the plunger. Hey, you know what? It's a very difficult game, especially on the spot live on the air. Congratulations, Julia. You are technically our winner. You just got yourself
Here we go again.
that's 2 out of 3. Now, of course, the moment of truth is upon us, Dan. You know, you put up a good fight. You basically stumped yourself at the end, so you got nobody to blame but yourself. With that said, before you decide if you want to implement sore loser rules and give yourself a second opportunity to win those tickets for Falling in Reverse, Julia, is there anything you want to say to Dan?
Dan, this is a great game, and I appreciate it. We did a lot of good back and forth there, and just thank you.
Yeah, she said good game, so that's like a verbal pat in the butt. All right. So, Dan, the moment of truth is upon us, okay? Now, plenty of people have gone either way. They've been good winners. They've been sore losers. No judgment here, all right? Would you like me to give these tickets to Julia, or would you like to implement sore loser rules and give yourself a second opportunity to win with me giving these tickets out to caller number 69?
I think Julia won fair and square. Let her have it.
All right.
Beauty.
You know what? I could tell in Dan's tone that he was going to take the high road, and good for you, Dan. The
Yeah.
good news is there's 2 more opportunities to win Falling in Reverse tickets. I'll give away another pair tomorrow and on Friday, so keep listening for your opportunity, okay? All right, so that was the last word from this morning. Welcome back. I just found out that Jennifer actually just came back from Las Vegas last night. So, kudos to you for making it here bright and early the very next day. How long were you in Vegas for?
For almost 4 days.
4 days? Yeah. Okay. And you saw David Blaine there too?
I saw David Blaine. I cried. I love him. I've been watching him since I was a kid.
Yeah. So I know. So have I. I love David Blaine. I mean, I was watching him since I thought he was the devil. I mean, I legitimately thought, I'm like, this guy could be Satan. That's how good he is. You're just like, oh, this is something mystic and evil about this guy.
What are your thoughts now? Is he still
I think he's a
mystic and evil?
dude. I think Satan would give himself a better body. I mean, he's kind of like gotten a
Wait,
dad bod.
Is he in good
How's he
shape?
looking now?
Yeah, what does he look like?
So I mean, he's
gotta
got
Google
to
him.
be close to. He's got to be like 50 to
He's in the
55.
50s for sure.
So hot.
Okay.
So hot.
Yeah. You got
Still
a type.
just-
Dark and
I do.
mysterious and may
And
murder
older.
you, may not.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
52.
He's 52. See, look how beautiful he is.
Yeah.
he's
Like a
aging
little
well.
scary.
He is aging
yeah.
well.
Another reason
for
why
him.
I thought David Blaine would make a good candidate for a potentially Lucifer is because he's also so ambiguous as far as like his ethnicity, right? You're like, what is he? Is he a little bit Mexican? Is he mixed? Like what, and I think that's a good representation of, like covering all people, like he's a representation of the melting pot that is the world. And that's what I think Lucifer would be like, it wouldn't be just white or black. I think, just to kind of like, oh, is he white? Is he black? Is he Mexican? Is he Arab? I mean, no one even knows.
Yeah.
Do you even know?
Like,
It's
just so racially ambiguous, but not enough to where you're like, why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to find out? Yeah, see, because you don't know. You couldn't give me the answer of what his heritage is.
He's half Puerto Rican, half Italian, just so everybody knows.
Super ambiguous.
Okay.
That's an odd
That's
mix.
not ambiguous. I just gave you the answer.
He's like the
But-
beginning of a doodle.
But he has Russian Jewish ancestry. So do I. So I feel like
Oh,
we have
it's your
such
people.
a good connection.
Yeah.
I know.
That's your
You were
people.
trying, yeah. You just keep putting it
You're
out there.
listening.
Don't worry, he could pick up on it. Whoever's saying his name. He has those abilities as well. So yeah, and he does. I mean, he really gets into now. It's kind of like the body magic, where he's just piercing through his body and everything else. And what was the most impressive thing that you saw where you're like, there's no way he could do this?
So his final trick, when you walked into the theater, they handed you a sealed little pouch, which was a deck of cards. And at the end, he just kind of guided everyone, like, take a few cards, do these things. Everyone was different. Everyone got the same card at the end.
Wait,
it was amazing.
what? Wait, and
Every
how big is
single
the
person-
audience?
Maybe 250,
Oh my god,
250, 300.
Yeah.
That's a lot of decks of cards.
Yeah, it's a lot of
crazy.
Dex card, and getting everybody to have the same card at the end
Mhm.
is kind of like I know there's ways, right? And obviously, that's a magician, they never tell, but he's so good. You think, does he have the ability to stop time? Right. And then because the trick where he would throw things at a window, and then the card be on the other side of the window stuck in there. I'm like, the only way to possibly do that is to be like, Zach Morris, timeout. And then fucking go behind the window, plaster there, go back in position, time in, and then do it. Right.
Are you one of those people who, if you saw David Blaine live on the street and he did a trick on you,
You
you
just
would,
run the other
you
way?
would run away.
Yeah,
You would
yeah.
run away
Wow.
so fast.
I'm from the streets. That's our reaction. It's just like I
Run
mean,
away, calling
yeah.
your mom.
Yeah. I met the devil today, Mom. I'm sorry. I would be freaked out, but no, I was always fascinated and a fan massively from his very first special on. But yeah, I mean, I've seen people freak out, and I seen him get kicked out of like celebrity homes or like, get the fuck out of my house. I
Yes.
think Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
famously was like, that's great. Get the fuck out of my
Yeah.
house. I do not want you here.
Yeah.
Serpent said he met David Blaine a few times. Such a great guy. Name drop. All right, let's get on the air here in a second. I got some things that you wanted to talk about. What, Sydney Sweeney or no?
I think we're going to talk about
Oh.
unproblematic famous people. We're going to
Oh,
try
yeah.
and
Okay.
find a few.
John Hamm.
Ooh. Oh,
No,
God.
yeah, he's actually
Wait,
yeah.
No, stop
Yeah,
it. Do
yeah.
not
No,
ruin. Do
let's-
not ruin him for
Rock
me.
1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Before we get into this next segment, I do need to let you know that I do have hater tendencies. I've stated this before. It's on the record, right? So, when you attempt to find unproblematic celebrities, I may or may not make up problematic reasons why the person may be worse than they initially seen. Now, you just Googled up John Hamm. Are you
Yes.
finding disappointing news?
Well,
No.
Again,
it's
unproblematic
old.
and bangable.
It's from 1990.
You know what? I mean, we all have a past.
But it's one thing.
Oh, what's
It's
the one
only
thing?
one thing that he was involved in a hazing incident with the Sigma Nu fraternity that
Yes.
resulted in criminal charges. And
Yes.
the fraternity chapter was disbanded.
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
a little
because
brutal.
he was a frat bro.
Yikes.
And they were the type of frat that, would go to extreme measures. All the stereotypical bad stuff that you would see in a cheesy 80s movie, they thought was hilarious, right? And that's the same thing, like taping testicles to the backside and whatever, weird stuff. And you could say John Hamm is like very charismatic and likable there. That doesn't erase the 4 years that he was a monster. 3 years, because the first year he was an underclassman, right?
Did he graduate? Do we know that he actually did 4 years?
Probably
and
not.
actually, his charges were dropped, or he was charged with hazing,
Mm-hmm.
and he did probation,
Mm-hmm.
and he was never convicted of assault.
Yeah, because he's a good-looking white guy too.
Yikes.
In a court of law, that tends to work out for people, especially at that time. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just kind of saying.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, Rico has a John Hamm story where he was bouncing outside of a club and smoking a cigarette, and John Hamm came up and asked him to bum a cigarette. He was kind of entitled in the way that he was asking for the cigarette as well. And Rico, being so nervous, he goes, "Oh, yes, John Hamm," and goes to grab the cigarette, and he fumbles the cigarette, and then drops it, and he goes to pick it up, and he's like, "Yeah, can I have one that wasn't on the ground?"
I would do the same thing.
I know.
That doesn't make you problematic. I don't want to.
No, that's not a real smoker, not in my mind. You know what I mean?
You'll
Because
take whatever you can get.
first off, you're ingesting chemicals you can't even pronounce. The poison runs deep. So what's a couple of like street germs on LA? That's nothing. If anything, it's going to boost your immune system, maybe even make your lungs stronger. I am not in the camp where I feel like John Hamm is unproblematic, but there are some that I do believe are angels on earth, so let's some of the people on your list.
Wait, I just gotta say real quick. I love Dr. Beef, and when he talks about you, when you talk about the immune system and stuff like that,
Thank
like
you.
that's just amazing. Dr.
No,
Beef,
I know. My
he'll come to
pseudoscience
you, come to you
runs
with all
deep.
my problems.
No, I am the stereotypical idiot on the internet,
Yeah.
just verbally speaking. Yes.
Okay, so what about Dolly Parton?
Okay, no,
Oh.
she's an angel,
Yeah,
sweetheart. One man,
literal angel.
One man, her entire life, even though she was literally a sex symbol for, to this day from the very beginning. And she had boob jokes for days, could joke about sexuality. But the reality is she would go back to her man at the end of the day and was so faithful and in love and stuck with her man through highs and lows. And yeah, there's nothing bad about Holly or Dolly Parton or Dollywood continuing to raise money for charity and stuff. I don't know if there's been a better person since. I think she's a better person than Mother Teresa. I think Mother Teresa probably has more skeletons in her closet.
Oh,
for sure.
yeah, she was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
there's,
only unproblematic. Don't talk about the problematic. Do not
Okay.
bring the.
all right. Yeah.
Only
We're keeping it
unproblematic.
positive.
But
Mhm.
Dolly Parton's philanthropy, like the more that I find
Mhm.
out, the amounts of money that she has given to childhood literacy, disaster relief, healthcare, like she's doing all the things that you would hope that people who have that kind of money that they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she's
Absolutely.
gorgeous, she's talented, she's faithful, she's an amazing human being, but she's one step beyond.
Yeah, I'll even take it one step beyond that because a lot of people don't even know this. A lot of people, they see Dolly Parton, they assume she had breast augmentation, and that's not true at all. Every act of kindness, her breast gets bigger. And that's just a representation, a physical representation about how much she's been giving over her lifetime.
I don't know.
Dr. Beef.
Well, with her, I mean, just with her free reading program,
Yeah.
I don't think she'd be able to walk
No,
if they got
well,
bigger. Every good act,
that's true.
every
just
book.
science.
Well, she did get. I mean, she's had surgeries, right? So she did get a skeletal, like a metal spine infusion, just to help her stay upright. Yeah. So her spine is 100% like that of Wolverine, or
Adamantium,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So that's why.
Wait, and do we have time to talk about Keanu Reeves? Because that's your favorite unproblematic.
Well, yeah, Keanu. I mean, he changed the way that men take pictures with women. It's changed the way I take pictures. Like if I'm going to take a picture with both of you after the show, and I'm going to Keanu hand all day long. You're going to see all my fingers out there, not on your shoulders, not invasive, and everything else. And I've been doing that ever since he made it infamous. And I just keep seeing things. You always constantly see Keanu things online. One thing that was great that I just saw yesterday was that a couple was getting married, and they saw Keanu in a hotel lobby, right? Invited him to the wedding reception, and so he went upstairs, changed into a suit, and then participated in the wedding and took pictures with the bride and groom and their kid. You saw that? Yeah, that just went viral. So that's just another example of this guy just being the best.
But he did put the jacket over a t-shirt, so I feel like that gives him like a half a point step down.
Well, you don't bring your tux everywhere you go. You know, he's business casual. He's a hippie. He's Ted. He's Bill.
Have you seen him on social media giving his, like, he takes the train in New York and he rides public transportation and he will give his seat up for women, and there's
so will I, but nobody gives me an award and I go viral for it.
of
That's
it.
just chivalry, right? I mean, there's people out there that are like that.
Yeah, but those are the things you should do, but that's not the things that everybody does.
That's
right?
true.
And
not just give up your seat for the attractive woman that you want to check out on the way down. Yeah. You give up your seat to like anyone who needs a seat in that time of need. So I'm problematic. Here, I'm going to ask you this question on the podcast broadcast stream where you guys can join us. And that is, are they smashing or are they not? There are 3 celebrity couples that just got outed this week. But are they couples? You know, we're going to weigh in on that on the podcast broadcast. We got more, including weird news, coming up after music from 9 Inch Nails. Keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah, yesterday it was trending Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau.
no, ew, I don't.
Oh, you don't.
that.
Yeah, you're not a fan of that one, huh? You don't want that.
No.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures. Now, Katy Perry, of course, you know, she's going through a divorce, and this was you were able to tell if you were paying attention to the tabloids, you saw this coming from a mile away. She was being so mean to Orlando Bloom. And then it was alleged that Orlando had a great time at Jeff Bezos' wedding, maybe even hooked up with Sydney Sweeney, but Tom Brady's trying to claim that as well. But, you know, he's got women throwing himself at him. It's Orlando fucking Bloom, right?
Yeah.
So Katie, she's out there and she's like, who I'm going to go with. You don't think Justin Trudeau is a good looking guy?
Oh, I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just
He's
think
too good for
so
her.
beyond her.
Yeah, he's too good for her. I'm glad we're on
Well,
the same page.
Right? Well, don't get me wrong. She's beautiful. And I'm going to bring it back. She was in the David Blaine special.
Oh.
And she was so normal. Like, she was just like a very normal, like kind of anxious, chill girl. And I would love to see that person again.
Right.
And if that's actually who she is, then I'm very happy for her.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's who she looks like she is on the date. This is, you know, amateur photographer capturing their private moment, and she's leaning in and very engaged in the conversation. It does just look like they're on a coffee date. Of course, Trudeau just recently went through a public breakup, and, you know, it has not been the best year for Trudeau. So bouncing back and rebounding with Katy Perry, good for him, good for her, bad for him, apparently. All right. So do you think, I mean, that could have been anything, though. Do you think they're smashing?
I would think that if there's a woman who's having coffee with Justin Trudeau, they're leaning in 100. Like, he's like magnetic. Like,
Right.
I would assume.
Well, another way to just get that, even if you have the chemistry or not, is the soft talk. You know, if you talk softer, then she has to lean in just to hear what you're saying. And that's just, you know, that's one of those stealth tricks I want to throw out to my guys out there who may not have the natural charisma of a former prime minister. You got to, you know, it's just you talk a little soft like that. The next thing you lean in, be like, whoa, girl, you trying to bang? Oh, I can tell. All right.
I think they're smashing.
I
Just
would
looking
love
at the
it.
photo. I didn't think that initially when you said it, and then I'm looking at the photo, and yeah, she's vibing with him so hard.
Yes,
Who wouldn't?
absolutely. All right. Well, there's, you know, coming up this week, there's going to be a release of the Naked Gun movie. That's a reboot starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. And to lead up to the show, you know, the movie release, you're seeing them being interviewed all over the place, showing off massive PDA. Now, Pamela's only 58 years old. Liam is 73. But that's, I mean, it's still an age appropriate relationship for sure. But is the PDA all part of publicity, or are they smashing? Have you seen some of these clips and how like charismatic they seem?
I have not, but considering who his ex-wife is, I would not think that Pamela Anderson is I think
Pamela's looking, well, Pamela
She
is
is.
leaning into her natural, beauty. She's not wearing makeup at all. And she's actually unrecognizable from like 90s bombshell Pamela Anderson, which would be like heavy on the eyeshadow and whatnot. So here's a picture of them just kissing cheeks here. There's going to be, there's a few pictures that kind of showcase. Look at, okay, here's one right here where you see his hand caressing her side there, kind of right there. Definitely not doing the Keanu. There's lots of video interviews and stuff where that's just a movie poster, but it does seem very affectionate, and they do seem like obviously they're close and they're friends in a way, but there is a little bit more to that. Like they care a little bit more
When I was diagnosed
than
with cerebral palsy.
alluding to. So Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, are they smashing?
No.
No, I just think, I mean, that's one of the most common PR moves for new
100%.
movies.
Yeah.
That's how I promote.
Yeah, the
all my
relationship
movies.
deal. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's and it's an old trick of like Hollywood, the oldest trick in the book.
Yep.
And hell, they were both around when that trick was written in the book in the first place. So but it's good to see. So actually, I hope they are. I hope they are for Pamela Anderson, because she seems to be happy, and I don't believe she's that good of an actress. And I hope that for Liam Neeson, who's of course a grieving widow. To be able to find love after that as well,
Right.
is good.
So he should date Dolly Parton.
But she's with her man.
No, Dolly Parton's.
Oh, yeah, Dolly Parton's husband passed
I
away.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sadness.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, this last one, are they smashing? Is someone who's very ambiguous. You never know what the deal is with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looks like he landed himself one of the most desired women in Hollywood, Ana de Armas. She is my celebrity crush. She's
mine too.
Yeah, she's up there towards the top of the list. This is them holding hands in public. They got caught publicly walking and holding hands. Tom looking like he is trying to look younger.
Wow.
But yeah, the lock in, the holding hands looks like legit hand holding. But that's as far as the affection goes. Of course, the last public relationship Tom Cruise had was Katie Holmes,
Right.
and the whole jumping on the couch thing. A lot of people question whether this guy has sexuality at all.
Yes.
Like he's just not into anything.
I think he's completely asexual, truly.
Mm.
He never has any chemistry with anyone in movies, even, the hot and heavy ones with Nicole Kidman, his first, the big one.
Yeah,
There's
Days of
no
Thunder.
chemistry. And for Ana de Armas, what a step down from Ben Affleck.
Yep. Yeah.
And she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
She
Yes,
could have
absolutely.
anybody. This is 100% PR for
Yeah,
both
okay.
of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
100%. Or he's paying her.
Or
Right.
she's trying to get into Scientology.
Right. Yeah. And this is a way to kind of like, the cheat code to skip a couple levels in Scientology. You want to get right up there with the gods, then you line up with Tom Cruise, right? So I could see that as well. I know. Disappointing.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
I know. Some people look at it optimistically, though, saying that if it doesn't work out with Tom Cruise, at least you know where her standards are, and that means most of us have a chance. Or at least the short kings do. What you notice, what I noticed in those pictures is that they're only a couple inches different in height, like actually very similar in height. And Ana de Armas is like a 5-footer. She's
And
a
he-
5-foot queen.
And he wears lifts.
Yeah, he
He
does.
does wear lifts. And
I've
he's
done that
probably
too, though.
shrinking. Like,
Yeah, of course. He gets older and shrinks.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oof.
Definitely.
Wait, and what's the age difference between the two of them?
At least a couple decades.
I was going to say 25, maybe.
Wow, that
25
is
years.
Yeah.
A lot.
I know. Gosh, she's so gorgeous, though.
It
she
works
really
for
is.
me, but not for others.
Right. So, all right. So you don't believe they are smashing. So there you go.
No.
Are they smashing?
Do you think he took the cardboard cutout out of Ben's trash can?
He probably. I would have tongue kissed it. I don't care if it's straight from the trash. She's a pretty woman.
63.
Yeah, there you go.
Oof.
How old is she? 30 something?
37.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
yeah, she's approaching 40. That's fair.
36. 36 or 37.
30. Let's say
Two-
37
two
now.
different.
God, I would have
I
guessed
did
she was
not-
like 28.
Yeah, me too. I thought she was late 20s.
Well, she looks great,
Oof.
but I mean, when she first kind of like got in international fame, because she actually was big in I think Spain or South America as an actress first, and before she crossed over into American culture, she was probably around 28. Glass Onion was.
Yes.
The movie that made me just like, what? Who the hell is this? I don't even remember a movie where the last time where like I literally was smitten and 100% like just like crushing on an actress in a performance, but she was just so undeniable that, from there, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm in. I'll watch whatever movie. And then her as Marilyn, I thought she did a good job as Marilyn.
Yeah. War Dogs. That was the one for me where I was like,
She was in War
whoa.
Dogs? I got to watch that again,
Yeah,
okay?
she's,
She was young. She was the guy's wife. Yeah.
she's Miles Teller's wife.
Yeah. All right. Let's get on the air here. We got some weird news, and we'll do that here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beat Vegan Presents. We're kind of talking about tattoos today. There's a couple tattoo stories that I saw. We were talking about Bill Gates and what he thinks the future of tattoos are going to be. I saw a piece about Pete Davidson covering up his Dave Chappelle tattoo, which I don't know if that means a breakup between him and Dave Chappelle. But this story is odd yet romantic, right? Like, say, it wouldn't be in a situation with your ex-husband, but say, somebody that you love internally and they pass away, but they had a tattoo on them that you just loved so much.
No.
What do you do to immortalize that love and keep that? There's a woman whose husband passed away, right? And after her husband passed away, she wanted to keep one special item of his to forever remember his life and his legacy and the love that they shared. And that was his Steelers tattoo. Now, this woman refers to herself as a real AF sports mom. And when her husband passed away, she worked with a company called Save My Ink Forever to preserve one of his 70-plus tattoos. All right, it was a combination skull and a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet, which was selected by their son. Now, the skin on which the tattoo was created was preserved and then framed for those left behind to mount on a wall, right? So it's basically cutting off the skin, stretching it out, Leatherface style, putting it in a frame, putting that on a wall. Where would you put that? Would put it in the bathroom, over the fireplace, in a kitchen? Where do you put it? But that's what she did. And Angelica says that the company sent her a recovery kit and the necessary paperwork. And 3 months later, she received the frame tattoo guarded by museum quality UV glass. So I feel like she, or maybe the mortician, did the slicing and dicing for her or slice it up for her, which I didn't think you could make that a request, and then gave it to her, and then she mailed it out, and then they mailed it back. Using UPS for that, or is that FedEx?
That's definitely a FedEx thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an overnight, FedEx overnight.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
You got to pay extra for that. Okay. So in Angelica's eyes, it isn't about shock value. It's about legacy. And everything was done with the consent of her husband before he passed, as final arrangements were being made. So what a weird conversation to have, too.
That is going to be something that picture frame is going to be found 100 years from now in an attic, and somebody's going to be like, what is this? And they're going to have to Google it or whatever exists at that time and find out that it's human skin.
Yeah.
In 100 years, we'll all be doing that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of skin collection I'm going to have. You know what I mean? I don't.
What do you have right now?
A zero.
Actually, is the better question.
Just the dead skin that I got to do laundry.
You got to exfoliate more.
Yeah, I got to exfoliate. All right, let's hit the reset on the FM side. We'll wrap things up with the beef tip right after this. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah. So,
that's the crazy. I would never in a million years even think to hold on to skin.
No.
It starts with that.
Loved one.
I know that there's going to be stories of, preserved penises and things like that. There was a sweet story that is kind of odd and weird too, of my friend's mother. My friend's dad passed away unexpectedly, and he was like 60 and stuff. And they had a relationship. My friend's parents had one of those relationships. They were just madly in love with each other, madly in love. And they were actually one of the only families that I saw growing up that I'm like, this is an ideal family, right? You guys got everything, he's got the nice house, got the good family unit. You guys all love each other, love being around each other. It was so odd to me. In fact, it was just like, I was like, this is just strange. This is not what I'm used to. Right. And so she told me the story that after he passed away, before, he was set to be buried and everything, the mother asked for a moment alone with, her husband, and to where she could check out his penis one last time and just remember the fond memories and stuff. That's how much she loved this man. It was super sweet, super weird too. I don't know if she gave it a little squeeze or a little tug or whatever. I don't know, rigor mortis stick it, whatever. But the point was that was still a sweet sentiment of a very passionate love. And so I know her mom. I know her mom well, right? And there was like a couple years later, we're hanging out at a pool party, and we're swimming and hanging out together. I didn't talk anything penis, but she was still going through a tough time. She's still mourning, and she's still depressed, and like her perfect family unit was a little ruptured. She had one of her kids kind of go down a bad path of addiction. Now back, things are good, but things were really bad at that point. And she's like, she was so depressed that she had it all. And then she lost seemingly it all. She still had her house and everything, but all that happiness of the perfect life. And I had to tell her, I'm like, look, many people I know never even had it all for a day, let alone like 30 plus years, right? The fact that you had that perfect life for that long is what you really should be appreciating and look back on that. Because again, if you look around, look at my life. I haven't had an hour of perfect, right? But you had 30 days, and I would look into your family like, yeah, this is fantastic. And I was happy. I mean, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you got to experience that for so long, and meanwhile, chick I'm talking to won't even call me back.
Maybe she will now. That was a journey, Beef. You took us on a journey.
I know.
That did not end up where I thought we were going to end up.
I started off with dead dick, as I normally do.
And I was like, plaster cast. They should have done a plaster cast.
And end it sentimentally.
Yeah.
That's the journey that our streamers go on a regular basis on the podcast broadcast.
Beautiful.
I
It's
know.
very heartfelt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
You'll
see?
find it. You'll get there.
Nah.
Now she's going to call you back after she hears that.
Nah, she just blocked me. Nah, I'm just kidding. There's no one in particular I'm talking about, but like I like to look at things optimistically, and that was one of those situations.
Yeah, but not everybody is meant to find their person in this life. I don't think so. Like I'm
Supposed to find them
single.
afterwards?
I love being single. Like I've been in some relationships that have made me so grateful to be alone, and then when I date somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm single.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like I don't think at this point, if I got married to somebody, I don't think I could share a bed with them or live in the same bedroom with them.
Cohabit. You're so used to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like sleeping with lots of random people too, Kim. But
the more random, the better.
Oh, your DMs are going to be
Yeah,
off
yeah,
the
yeah.
hook now.
yeah. I like banging random guys I pick up at the bus stop as well. Obviously.
I mean, they need a ride.
Yeah.
What am I
Yeah.
gonna do? I'm just being philanthropic like Dolly Parton. That's all.
And 10, if you're sober right now, you're doing sobriety, congratulations, and keep it up, dude. It's great. All right, we're gonna get on the air here. Let's plug the open mic here at the Rock and everything else. So Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Unfortunately, that's almost all the time that we have. But it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. The time flies, right, Jennifer Thomas?
Jesus.
Yeah. But it's the first time that you're on the podcast broadcast, but it won't be the last. I enjoy seeing all the hustling that you're doing and hosting the open mic at the Rock each and every Wednesday, which you're doing again tonight, right?
Yes.
So you got any words to say to any aspiring comedians, how they can be involved in what you got going on at the Rock and where people can follow you?
So you can follow me. My Instagram is Jen, JENN Thomas, kind of funny. Check it out. It's kind of funny. But for anyone who's like ever thought of doing comedy, the Tucson comedy scene is so supportive. Every time we have someone visiting, that's the first thing they say is, wow, you have like the nicest community I've ever had. People go up for the first time. No one's a jerk. People encourage them and help. And so if you've ever thought about doing comedy and you want to make some really cool friends, definitely come out. Show starts at 7:30 every single Wednesday at the Rock.
Yep, and sign up is at 7:00. Is there a cover to get in?
Nope, no cover.
There you
Good
go.
drink specials, awesome bartender. It's a great stage. Hell, if you even want to come, go up and get a picture of yourself on that stage. Come out.
That's right. Yeah, even just go out there for a night of laughs. So my beef tip to you is if you ever thought about doing something like stand-up comedy, but it scared you too much, face your fear, go up there. Don't be afraid to fail and enjoy that adrenaline rush that comes with you living adventurously. You will thank me later. And thank you guys so much for listening. Again, don't forget to follow Jennifer. Thank you, Kim, for joining me today. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue to give away tickets for Falling in Reverse. Until then, Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later. There we go.
That was great.
Yeah.
I love you.
Soon will
See, you just gotta follow.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll Rock 102.1 follow. That's 2 follows. You just went viral.